We are just 2 weeks from heading out on our big trip down to Baja, California, and then all the way up the Pacific coast into Alaska over the course of the next several months. And joining us are going to be our friends Jamie and Clay Schumacher, who have, we met them a little over a year ago now, and they've spent probably
way too much time with us.
2/3 of the time with us since then. And,
more time than they want.
And today, you're going to get to meet them. This is RV Miles.
This winter, LL Bean wants to help you get outfitted for all that's out there with tips and advice for heading outdoors and exploring all the possibilities of the season. Finding time outside can feel tough in winter, but it's just steps away if you turn your backyard into a winter oasis. Add a fire pit to keep you warm, some winter games to keep you active, and some all-weather furniture and outdoor blankets for chilling out comfortably. Just because it's cold out, that doesn't mean you have to be cold. For more fun ideas, easy how-tos, and inspiring stories, visit llbean.com/guide.
Welcome to episode number 264. I'm Jason.
And I'm Abby, and this is Jamie and Clay. And we are 4 full-time RVers who have been crisscrossing North America at various dates for a very long time. Here at RV Miles, we talk all things RV and outdoors, from travel destinations, industry news, our national parks, and so much more.
We're just getting ready here. We're getting ready to go into Mexico in a few weeks, but in between them, we're going on a Disney cruise all together.
Down to Mexico.
Terrible timing, but we're getting prepped for that in a few days. Getting ready to go. You guys about ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, how could I not be? I mean,
it's happening.
Honestly, no, whenever we travel away from the RV, it's like almost easier in a way, because it's just all you're doing is packing one bag, you're going on a trip.
I think it's harder. If we hook up the RV, I have all my stuff.
Well, so that's the thing. It's what to bring. And then I'm notorious for overpacking. I will overpack for this trip. Like it's bound to happen. And so the nice thing about like going to Fort Wilderness, for instance, and doing Disney in Fort Wilderness is that you have everything there.
Right.
Whereas now on this Disney cruise, I don't know how many swimsuits I need. What if I need one for everything?
You kept trying to get me to buy another swimsuit, and I'm like, I've never needed more than one ever in my life.
You have at least
You have to have 2, because you gotta have one to dry, like the one that's drying and the one that you're wearing.
Thank you. See, she understands. So
I'm bringing 4.
This is a veteran cruiser right here.
Yes.
And you can never overpack for a cruise. You need 3 outfits per day.
Should I out you guys? This is your first Disney cruise?
It is. It's our first cruise in general ever. And so we have nothing to base this off of. We have no idea what this is going to be like. I think I bought every single bit of nausea anything from Amazon last week. Like
that's a good plan.
Everyone's going to have bands. I've got the patches for behind the ears. I've got the kids Dramamine, the adult Dramamine. I've got the ginger lozenges.
Yeah, those are good.
I've bought everything in anticipation that at least 3 out of 5 of us are going to throw up at least once on this cruise. Yeah. Ethan, Henry, and I will go down. So, but I feel like we should have given them a little bit more of a formal introduction before we jumped into cruise talk.
We'll get there. We'll get ready to spend the whole middle section of the show just on these 2.
I mean, this isn't cruising miles.
But before we do so, we're in the middle of getting the IBEX ready as well, downsizing from our big 5th wheel into our 25-foot IBEX, which is it's going okay. It's everything's a challenge. It's going okay. We have made the decision to not switch to a composting toilet, and primarily that's a time constraint.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking about something I keep seeing on Facebook popping up, and I don't know if it's this time of year. I don't know what's going on, but I keep seeing posts in the RV Facebook groups of people that are losing the head of their toilet brush down into their black tank.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. So like, you've got the brush, the sort of bristly round-headed thing.
I'm familiar
to stick down into the toilet. And I think what's happening is people are using it to like clean that tube that's between the toilet and the tank.
oh.
You know, because that can get a little gross.
Oh, that
sometimes,
was
but-
Yeah, but like,
That's so gross.
But
I don't
they're
think I
cute.
want to bring that up out with my brush anyway. I'll leave that down there.
Are they dropping it or are they just tossing it
No,
down
so what's
there?
happening is
'Cause
the head is breaking off because it's probably a cheap one or something, or it's getting stuck,
That's some
and then
intense
landing in
scrubbing.
their black tank, which is a whole different problem because now you've got a
you
brush
gotta like
head.
take
that-
your black
that-
tank off. That's the start of your poop pyramid.
Yeah,
It, like
yeah.
builds like a snowball.
Yeah, hopefully you can see it there and you can, I don't know.
Oh,
grab
fish it
or
out with a
something.
coat hanger.
Oh, no.
Send another one down to
I need a little hand.
That is a predicament I have not
No.
encountered yet in RVing, is
No.
fishing things out of the black tank.
No, thank,
No.
thank goodness. And well, now we would bust the macerator. So
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
What's
I-
the claw thing that you can get to help
Oh,
you
yeah,
pick
yeah,
stuff
the-
up?
the
You know,
little
the
reacher-
it's
the
probably
reacher
called
thing.
the claw.
Uh-huh.
The claw.
I guess you just
get one of those,
the
and then
claw.
get that
You
thing stuck
just do
down there as
that.
well.
Yeah, right.
It's probably not a good idea to be sticking things down your toilet. I also noticed in the IBEX, we just noticed this today, that all of the traps are the waterless HEPVO traps. So what they
Yes.
are is like there's like a membrane in there. So instead of the P-shaped plumbing that sort of traps some water under there to keep the sewer gases from coming back up and to keep rings and stuff that you drop down there from going down the drain. It's
Some of us aren't wearing rings anymore, so we don't have to worry
True.
about that.
it goes horizontally straight, and it's just this rubber membrane, I think it is, in there that keeps gases from coming back up. And it's really important to know if you have those, because if you do, you should never stick like one of those zip strip things that you stick down to get hair out of a clog. You should never stick one of those because it just takes that membrane and rips it apart. They're nice because they what it does is it allows for there to be nothing blocking the way. So like you can open the cabinet under our kitchen sink and there's not a whole lot of plumbing
that's
there.
cool.
And a lot of showers, they do it so that the shower doesn't have to be too high up off of the deck of the RV. They can get it as low as possible. So make sure to check if you have one of those before sticking stuff down your drain.
I'm sorry. I know I sense we're about to go to a break, but can I?
Do you sense that?
I do, but I need to go
Spidey
back.
senses tingling.
Can we go back to the brushes?
I gotta go back to the brush.
I have a question about that too.
I have a question.
Jamie just raised her
Yeah.
hand.
Oh, get mine.
For those not watching, I'm literally putting my hand on Jason's hand, like, excuse me, I gotta to talk. I've never bought one of those for our RV. In the 6 years that we've been RVing, I've never purchased a toilet cleaner,
No.
toilet brush cleaner. Is that, was I supposed to get one? Because
No.
it doesn't seem like I would want to use that for fear of losing it.
Well, I would think it would. My question was damaging the seal.
Yeah, I would think there would be some concern there too. And if
If
you
it's
have
too
a
firm of a
plastic
brush.
toilet, you're not supposed to use anything abrasive, and
Right.
that's probably fairly abrasive.
Our first cassette in our cassette toilet that we had in our first RV, we messed up the seal pretty bad by using very abrasive cleaner on it because I was like, we're gonna get this thing clean.
You don't even want to go overboard with the cleaner, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that just doesn't seem to me the item to clean. And if it's that bad, I don't know that
Well,
that
we've
toilet brush is gonna
mentioned this
help.
before. Like, if you read in the manual for the plastic toilets, if you have a plastic RV toilet, they say to use nothing caustic or abrasive at all. Just use like dish soap on a wash rag or something, or spray bottle with vinegar and water.
I try not
Works
to
great.
stick my hand in there as much as possible.
because it actually breaks down the gloss, and the gloss is what keeps things slick and going down and not streaking.
I think that might have started to happen for Ranger Gandalf Tralee the second.
Yeah. Oh, it totally.
think.
It totally
We
did,
started
yeah.
to be like, this isn't, moving
it-
as smoothly as it should through
It
this.
could be the same for your bathroom sink as well if you've got a plastic sink, because those lose their gloss. They start getting bacteria sticking in there, and they change colors, and and get dull and all that. So you got to be careful with all that sort of stuff.
All right. Well, I'm glad we could go back to that subject because I just
Yeah.
feel like we hadn't really exhausted it
Okay.
enough yet to move on. So
Okay.
Just not enough toilet talk
There
for
was
you.
just not enough toilet time at RV Miles. Like that's what we've been missing on this show for 5 years.
No, it's there.
All right, let's take a break and we'll
Fair
come
enough.
back in a few moments and we'll get to formally meet Jamie and Clay.
Thank you. I do like things to be formal around here.
Sure you
You
do.
sent me the etiquette video.
I'm gonna put that etiquette video on.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be crossing my legs.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna cross my legs. It's not ladylike. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Chances are you've seen them on the road. That's because Blue Ox designs and manufactures the best towing products in the industry. Just look around, you'll find them on highways and campgrounds and anywhere you find people traveling in the great outdoors. Award-winning tow bars, base plates, and brakes, a full line of weight distributing hitches, adjustable ball mounts, and a new line of fifth wheel hitches. With Blue Ox, towing doesn't have to be a drag. To learn more about how Blue Ox can make your travel adventures even more stress-free, visit blueox.com.
This episode is supported by ParkWolf, the ultimate app for visiting U.S. national parks. With ParkWolf, you can view upcoming places and amenities as you drive through the park, locate the nearest gas, food, bathrooms, and pullover points. ParkWolf's wildlife maps show you the best times and places to see or avoid wildlife, along with a feed of the latest wildlife sighting photos from the parks. ParkWolf even makes it possible for you to view your live location and direction on official park maps while staying up to date on current NPS alerts and advisories. ParkWolf keeps working even if you lose service. To learn more, download the ParkWolf app for iPhone free from the Apple App Store today.
We're back, and it is time to meet Jamie and Clay Schumacher, who we had the pleasure of meeting back at the RV Entrepreneur Summit 2 years ago, not this
2021.
past one, 2021.
21.
We met. They were in the site next to us. They had just
Site.
they had just booked it across the Midwest to Colorado in their new fifth wheel. We had just done the same in our new fifth wheel. We're both getting used to our new rigs. Our kids got to know each other, and then we met up with them a few times later on the road, and then we just started traveling together. And it's been a blast ever since. I've always thought that would be weird to travel with another family. I always thought it'd be like, oh, we got to figure so much stuff out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I love traveling with you guys because it's like, if you guys want to go do something, you do. We go do something, we do. We don't have to like...
But at the same time,
Yeah, it's
we all
not like
to go
pressure.
do things together.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, hey, we're running errands.
Like,
Want to go run errands?
Yeah, we're doing this. Do you want to do that too?
Yeah. You want to go to Athleta? We're gonna go run some errands.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Let's all go get some dinner.
Let's go way back to the beginning though of your journey to becoming RVers and then full-time RVers.
We've been RVing since 2020, so some people would call us COVID campers. I don't know. But we used to tent camp like infrequently, stuff, local places like that, and lost our tent. Jamie had been working on me for years to get a trailer. I never wanted to have to tow anything. You know, I didn't really want to spend that much money on something where it was like, oh, are we gonna like this? And then we've like invested so much money in it, but we finally got a small trailer that you found online.
Yeah, so we got a Taxa Mantis to start with. I bought it sight unseen in June of 2020, called a dealer that happened to have one on the lot. It was like a 2019 that they hadn't managed to sell.
Yeah.
And had them deliver it to us. So had no walkthrough, had no anything, just had it dropped in our driveway. Because I'd bought a Subaru Ascent slightly before that, and I was like, no, I can tow something. In hindsight,
small.
something small, smaller than I realized. And once I started getting into the details of like payload and everything, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but the Ascent tows a lot for a Subaru.
It does. And Clay was like really on board. I wanted a little Airstream, so there's a theme there. But like I wanted a little Bambi, but he was like, I don't know.
That's a
I still
lot
want to
of
feel. And when
money.
he's such a like, but I really want to be tent camping if I'm camping. I really want to be in the outside. So the Mantis
don't
appealed to him
understand
That
because
way up first. We did that
No.
at first.
Never. felt
Totally.
that way.
No, that was, I mean, whenever
was like,
someone
I don't
asked me
want an
about what I
RV.
liked about the Mantis, It was like it was the
feels like
best
a
of
tent
both
in a
worlds.
good way, yeah.
Kind of, I'm sure a traditional pop-up feels like this too, right? You have an RV, right? And that had hard sides and it popped up in the middle, right? But you have an RV, you're able to take your stuff within it, you're able to get in out of bad weather more than tent camping, but you still have like the tent walls on the top where you can unzip and you have the mesh and it's just like air and light everywhere, and it's
So
it was a beautiful thing.
So we got this. This is another theme. We got it, and a week later we took it on a 2-week trip, having never RV'd before in our lives, all the way up to we were based out of Central Illinois. We took it all the way up to Madeline Island in the Postal Islands in Wisconsin. So just stopped several places on the way, kind of camped on our way up and down, and kind of fell in love with it. Even though, like, I was talking to Abby about this the other day, our first 2 nights were terrible. Like, we couldn't figure out how to plug the thing in. We couldn't get backed in. The kids wouldn't go to bed. It was just...
Windstorm.
The dogs weren't comfortable. It was like a whole thing. And we had this like awful wind and thunderstorm where we had to pull everything down and pull the sides down.
Kind of fun.
It was fun. I think we got hooked. We were like gluttons for punishment, or we like problem solving. I think RVing presents a lot of opportunities for problem solving.
Well, and we should mention too that you have 2 girls,
Yes.
2 daughters that are 12 and 6.
Yep, about to be 13 and 7.
About to be 13 and 7. Where as we all travel this year from Baja to Alaska, we will both have kids that roll over to teenagers.
Yes.
So
Wow.
we will, by the time we hit Alaska or close to it, you will have a 13-year-old, and then we will have 2 teenagers
Yeah.
Yes.
in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
In the smaller house.
Yes. Smaller house. That's fine.
But
It's fine. Everything's
they're
fine.
separated
We don't
now,
need to
so
talk
we
about it.
think it's better.
It's
Anyway,
going to be great. It's going to
so
be awesome.
you guys started camping in your Mantis, but then you sort of accidentally became full-timers, right?
Yes. We came back from that first 2-week trip, and we thought,
That had been a planned vacation.
yeah, we went up to Wisconsin. We spent a few days in a cabin with your parents, and then we came back down, and we were like, this is really fun. We kind of like this, and everything's remote right now, and maybe we should see if we can do like school and work from the
wherever.
road. Yeah. And so we did like a 2-week trial where we went into Indiana and then out to West Virginia and back, and then that was way too much ground to cover for 2 weeks, which we realized.
It was such a great trip.
But we learned a lot of stuff. Yeah, we love West Virginia. Like, love it. After that, we took what we learned, and then I think like a week later, we left for our first big 3-month trip. We came
in the
Was it really a
Mantis.
week later?
That
seems unreal.
Maybe it was a couple weeks.
We
weren't
so
home
the
much
Mantis,
after that.
which,
let's make
look
that-
it up if you haven't seen it. It's 19 foot. We could pull it with a Subaru. GVWR was 4,000.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, probably had about that much in it.
Give or take.
Once we were in it for months at a time, it pops up in the middle, and we're setting up camp. You know how we do, but having to move things out from the aisle and back into the
There's
Subaru
no outdoor
and back and forth.
storage in it, and we had at the time.
But-
We had a very large dog that took up the back
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Subaru, so there was no storage in there.
It was such an adventure getting out, and we did a kind of a loop through the center of the country that time, and then all the way down to Florida.
Now,
Yeah.
is this the trip that took you to the Badlands?
No, that's
Technically,
the
we
second
did-
trip.
We did
Story.
North Dakota.
We
that
did North
Okay.
Dakota that trip.
Because I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
No, we skipped the Badlands, and
Well, we've been a
I don't
bunch.
care if we go.
We had
again.
been a bunch because my brother used to be stationed outside of Rapid City, and so we'd been there quite a bit.
We loved our time in the Mantis. We did that trip, and we did another 4-month trip.
Yeah, so we
where-
came back for the holidays for like a month and a half, and you were like, "Oh, I'm so glad to be back in the house," and I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, do we ever really have to? And we were there for the holidays, and then but I think like 3 weeks in, you were like, "Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go again."
So true.
So we got reset, changed our setup a little bit in terms of like where we had everything, and then but I mean, we were rolling down the road with a roof basket on the back of the Mantis, a roof basket on the Subaru. We had like.
Oh yeah.
We were really set up, and that was like,
Yeah.
so that was like all of 2020, and then into 2021.
Yeah.
Is that when you went off That's when you went out.
That was like a.
That's when we came out here.
We came out
Yeah.
here.
That was a 4-month trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
we went all the way up the Pacific Coast Highway we went from San Diego all the way up into it's not the PCH really technically when you get up to Oregon and Washington, but we went along the coast like all the way up
Don't
to
they
Port
still call it the
Angeles.
PCH?
I don't think. Well, maybe it is. It's not the
whatever.
one. Anyway.
It's the one in California,
And then it goes to the 101.
It merges with the 101.
Yeah.
And goes up Oregon and
Yeah.
Washington and
So
to
we did,
Olympic and
except
all
for that part by Big Sur that was closed down. We did the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you do this big long trip.
Yeah.
It's 2021. You're like, what was then the decision to be like, you know what, we want to continue to full time, but we're going to go from this 19-foot Mantis into this 36, 37, 38 Cougar fifth wheel. Like, what was the decision, or what switched for you guys to want to do that? Because that's like a big shift. I mean, for us going from the bus to the trailer, we didn't really change much in size. Obviously, a lot of other things changed, how we towed and where we camped and stuff like that. But size-wise, not a whole lot changed. And I still think it was shocking for us a little bit to go from the Pioneer into the Sabre.
Yeah.
I mean, that was more space than we knew what to do with.
As we figured out as we're trying to get rid of stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
We fill every inch.
So I think we were a little like, okay, so there's a long, complicated decision, and in some ways very quick decision about like, was I going to go back into the office or quit my job? Yeah, and so we had already kind of planned this trip, and we were like, well, I guess I'm going to quit. Anyway, but we decided to go to the fifth wheel, I think because we were starting from scratch. We didn't have a truck, and we knew we needed a truck for anything that we would want kind of after the Mantis.
Well, first of all, we got to say, we wanted to go something a little bigger than the Mantis, because if we were going to be in it for more long trips, Grace was getting way too big for that bunk.
Yeah, so especially in the 2019 and earlier Mantises, the bunks were very narrow.
Yeah, she's a full-size human now.
Yeah, she's like she's as tall as me.
She wasn't in the beginning of 2020.
She wasn't at all. Yeah. She grew a lot in that time frame. And even for JoJo, like it was, the space for the kids wasn't very good in the Mantis for sleeping for long periods of time at that point. So we did look at a lot of, once we walked into a fifth wheel, we were like, oh, we really like the space. Like it felt nice to have the overhead space. But then we felt very limited, even in fifth wheels, of beds that actually fit a full-size adult, like adult-sized child, right? Like, because we were looking at all these bunkhouse models of these giant fifth wheels that were like really nice.
Kid-sized bunk.
Like the
it
bunk
wasn't an
would
improvement in that area.
Yeah, it's like a jackknife sofa. Maybe it's all in a slide, and the slide is only like 5.5 feet long.
Right, yeah.
You know, and there's nothing you can bust it out and put something in. But there's nothing you could put in there that would fit.
That's long enough.
Our child, and so we found. We'd actually initially gone to look at the Sabre, the same layout that you guys have, because I thought that would be a good one for us, but Grace was not going to share the loft. And, so that was vetoed.
There's a lot of that going on in our house right now. So.
And fair enough. Like, and it was a lot of decisions about different things.
And we looked at some travel trailers too, but decided, hey, if we're gonna go, let's just go big and try it out.
We're kind of like big stickler. Like we love to try things. Like we never know what that was like if we didn't try it. And since we were starting from scratch on the truck and everything anyway, we're like, well, let's go find a camper that we like and then find the truck after that. And so that's what happened. We ended up getting a Cougar 364 BHL. It's 39 feet long, and it's the kind with the second bedroom and a half bath in the back that has like the loft over the bed. It worked really well for us in terms of a lot of things space-wise. The second bathroom was nice and also kind of a pain. It felt really big, and it felt like a house, basically, which has its pros and cons. We learned a lot about that.
But if we hadn't gotten the giant fifth wheel, we might never have.
I know, we wouldn't have been neighbors, because that's how we got put. Because we had initially RSVP'd to the RV Entrepreneur Summit with the Mantis. Yeah. And so we were like, we would have been out with like the Overlanders and stuff. Yeah, with the truck campers and everybody.
Instead, you were like 1.5 feet.
We almost couldn't get our stairs down. I remember you posted a picture. We were in the lines where they told us. I remember you, and I'm such a rule follower. I'm like, well, they said that we have to be in these lines.
I know, and I just remember being like,
I'm sorry, you guys.
No.
It's like, I'm so sorry.
But it was actually, I think, even a day or two before we actually talked to one another at RV, like really kind of like chatted as neighbors a little bit, because I remember we'd kind of had a little back and forth like when we first, like you guys first got there. But I think it was really talking to you for the first time. Like we were kind of standing in and around our fifth wheels, and we were talking about the kids. And I just remember being like, oh, my Ethan would really like your Grays. We should get them to like,
they'd get along,
Yeah, and I just remember Ethan being like, I don't want to meet anybody new. I am so scared to meet anybody new. And he was like so nervous. But I said, Ethan, I'm telling you, she's like perfect for you. You guys all like the same things. Like, go out there and talk. It's going to be a fast friend.
I was like hiding inside because I didn't want to seem like a stalker. Because when I first met Abby, I was like, I know who you are.
What did I say to you? Because I was
You just introduced yourself, and I was like, I know who you are.
Abby, and you're like, I know who you are. And I was like, okay.
You're like, oh, okay.
I'm so awkward in those moments anyway. And I was like,
we'd had a rough drive out. We had had that night where we couldn't find a place to camp because our campground wouldn't let us in at a certain time, and we didn't know they wouldn't. And we slept on a cul-de-sac outside of Camping World in our fifth wheel.
In Colorado Springs,
we were like van lifing and stealth camping.
In our fifth wheel.
I just remember feeling so bad for you because your fifth wheel was only like days old at that point, right? And the whole front was just covered in bugs.
Oh yeah. As soon as we got into Colorado, it was like the mosquitoes were waiting for us.
It was awful.
We crossed the border.
I know, we had that great view
on this
out
back
that front
road. It's
windshield.
like, wow, this is beautiful.
it
completely
rough
destroyed
go into that RVE for most of us because that was also when we had encountered the closed road and then we had to go up.
Oh yeah, you had that awful drive.
I had that total panic attack while we were doing that, and it was just like all around rough. But I just remember, once we settled in, and then it was like immediately we all just kind of clicked. Like Ethan and Grace are just the best of friends, and I knew that they would be. And like Joe and Henry and Jack intermingles every once in a while, but it's very rare. Like, because Jason and I, while we work in a really extroverted world, are both very introverted people, like incredibly, very socially introverted. I know you're looking at me like that.
I look at her
really
like that when she says that too. But but now I get it because like for a lot of introverts, like put off a persona of being extroverts in order to like cover up.
To do
I do that sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
to do what you do. Yeah.
Abby's just really good at that.
I'm just really good at it. I paid a lot of money to go to school to learn how to do that.
I mean, fair enough.
So, but I remember for us to be like, hey, we're going to this place to eat. Do y'all want to come along? That's huge for Jason and I. Like really big.
Oh yeah.
Abby, it was not, do y'all want to come along?
Oh no.
You can come, but you don't have to.
And I was like,
hey, so we're going to go to this brewery and check it out. It looks pretty good.
Pretty cool.
Hey, if you show up there, you could like sit with us maybe, but you don't have to.
Don't feel you have to.
It's like, I think they invited us to go to the brewery with them, Jamie.
And
But
Clay was like, brewery?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but like either way, we're going to a brewery, so okay.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was awesome. But then it was like we sat down, the kids were at the kids' table. We were.
And we've been doing that ever since.
So socially awkward.
It
was very Midwest of you.
It was so perfect.
I'm very used to that, being from the Midwest
I
as
think
well.
this would be a good point, though, to talk about, because I think a lot of people always ask about folks who are full-timers. If you could let us know what y'all do to be able to work and live on the road.
Yeah, so actually when we were going to RVE, we were sort of starting up a startup, RV Pass, that didn't work out. We set that aside, but we're actually both in full-time remote gigs now. So I'm a software developer. I've gone from running my own consulting business, and now I work remotely for a company based in New York, and you're in finance.
Yeah, I work in finance for a private equity firm.
And you guys work, I think this is something interesting to me, too, because we work a very weird schedule. It's not really a schedule. And you guys work pretty much a standard weekday workday.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And you're able to do that fairly successfully from the road.
Yeah, I mean, you have to adapt for time zones, right? But like...
Clay's like 6 a.m. on a call.
Yeah.
Was on a 6 a.m. call this morning, I was.
Yeah.
But we're recording just after 3. You're done. For
Yeah,
the day
exactly.
by then, and
Yeah, because we're in California. Yeah.
It's actually, we like being out west, actually.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's harder if you're like in the east.
It was harder to like fit in adventure time because we weren't
the
done working
well,
until
it was
like
good
5
that
or
it was
6.
summer. So we did the Northeast last summer, and that helped a lot because there was a lot of evening light. But yeah, if it was winter, Like when we were in Florida in the winter, it was like, well, okay, I'm done with work and it's like dark.
Yeah,
That's
that was rough.
One of the things we liked traveling with you guys, though, is that you've gotten us more under the schedule, like where we're always traveling on Sundays, which is or Saturdays, which is always really convenient to be able to, say, okay, we're going to be a week here or 2 weeks here. We're moving on the weekend, and we know what we're doing, and we have booked stuff out for months and months and months.
Yeah,
it's something we never did before.
Well, I think the secret sauce, because we get a lot of questions too about caravanning with people, like how do you know that you can caravan with somebody? And I think for us, personally speaking, I think the secret sauce is to have people that, or a couple that you have a bulk of things in common with, like big things, like, we all love Disney, right? Like, so we could talk a lot about Disney. We've obviously been to Disney. Now we're going on a cruise, and we have a lot of these very similar interests. And also in the things that we want to do as travelers, we're really similar, but we're just different enough that it's complementary. Like you guys, because you're like, we travel on Sundays because we work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, so that's not us like at all. But it offers like this level of sort of like, oh, well, they need to do that. And then maybe that makes us stable. And so we can
sometimes
do that
it's
too.
just like, where are we
But-
going next week? We'll let Jamie figure it out. And it's like,
I
But-
Or,
might be
where are we going
the,
next year?
the
We'll let
chief
Jamie figure it out.
instigator.
Are we going
I've got next year's route mapped out, don't worry.
We started out not making reservations ahead nearly as much. I mean, we had some.
I usually was a
But-
couple months out.
Yeah, a couple months out. But then once we went to something really big, we were kind of forced to book out a lot farther ahead.
yeah.
I should say, I think one of the things we have in common that I think is really helpful, that it's harder amongst full-time families, is that we really like a decent amount of dry camping. We like a decent amount of like state parks and national parks, and then like peppering in places like a KOA or something like that. We're not kind of big on Thousand Trails. We have a camping pass, and so like it can just depend on how you like to camp too. Like if you make good friends with, like we have good friends that are like, they're big on Thousand Trails and stuff,
Right.
and that's great. And we see them when we go there, but it's like not
Yeah,
a
but there's some people that only do that. Or they
and that's
only
great if
do
that
that.
works. Like
And
yeah.
especially if you've invested so much money into that, that's a good option for you.
I think it's great. And it's just like, I think you have to find the people, and I didn't know there are people that really did like to do what we do, because we do a little bit of all of it, and we like it kind of all. And so,
Well, and I think that's the thing too, because being up for adventure also really helps. And I think sometimes you feel more up for adventure when you have others along with you. Like for me, the idea of going to Alaska, going to Baja, doing what we're doing over the next 6 to 8 months, but doing it together as two groups actually is more exciting to me. Like going into Alaska with friends, caravanning through the Alcan, I actually feel a little bit more comfortable doing that as opposed to us just doing it by ourselves. Like I would be a little stressed, I think, if we're driving down the Alcan and we blow a tire or something and it was just us. But it's always like, oh, well, we do have Jamie and Clay. Like if or they have us. Like if something like
the accident in Florida, or the accident in Florida when you guys were right behind us.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have just sort of like, you always know everything's going to work out, right? It'll work out however that ends up being. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy getting there, but eventually things are going to work themselves out.
Yeah.
But there is this level of comfort that comes with knowing that, if Jason breaks his finger, well, thank goodness, Clay can drive Jason to the ER and I can get things settled.
And it's not like you guys wouldn't have been able to do it, but it's just like,
It's
makes it easier.
It's just
It takes a little
know,
like of
it's
the
good
mental
to
load
have-
off to have the community of like.
takes the edge off a bit too, I think. And also it's just fun to explore
It's
these
fun.
places and to
Totally.
see our kids exploring them with their friends as
Yeah.
well. And then I think it sweetens the deal a little bit for my kids at the
I didn't know.
Grace and
So
JoJo will be there.
our first year out, it was COVID, and we were
Yeah.
being pretty careful. We were doing things outside because that was a pretty good thing to do, at least, from everything we read at the time. But
Yeah.
we were meeting people, but not like doing stuff together with people nearly as much until we met you all.
Yeah.
And I was a little worried, making friends, like long-term friendships on the road. Was that something we could do if we decided to go on the road full time? And right away, we got to RVE and met you all. And it's like, okay, yeah, all right,
And
fair enough.
amazingly, you weren't like, Yeah, no, I was right.
Question
You can't
answered.
make friends on the road.
Come on.
So we've all made this decision now to really travel very closely together for the next 7 months or whatever it's going to be. We're going down into Baja, California, into Mexico, and then traveling back up into California. We're going to go to Yosemite. We're going to continue up the coast and do the Pacific Northwest, and then eventually make our way to Alaska. I'm very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure there's going to be some challenges all along the way. But you guys we've downsized to the IBEX. You guys have made another change to the RV that you're traveling in.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about your Airstream a little bit?
Yeah, third year, third RV.
Tracks.
Yeah, right. So actually we got lucky and found this on a lot at Airstream Las Vegas, a couple months ago now, right?
I was doing the deal when we were in New Mexico and we picked it up at in November.
I mean, we kind of like always wanted an Airstream, eventually someday kind of thing, but it's like, it's a lot of money and we weren't sure we'd be comfortable in it as a family with it being smaller, that type of thing.
It's the bunkhouse. We should probably say it's a
it's the
2023 30-foot Flying Cloud bunkhouse.
Yeah. So, and we'd looked at this one before and we said, ooh, I don't know if the girls are going to like being on top of each other that close again. Turns out, well, it's fine. And, having the room in the Cougar didn't eliminate fighting anyway.
Yeah. Turns out they wouldn't have liked it.
Turns out Joe found ways to flip over the railing and onto Grace's bed every morning anyway.
Even when she had her anyway, yeah. So
Yeah, they will always find a way.
right, they'll always find a way. And that's, they're great sisters, but
That's siblinghood.
siblings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so we were thinking, we want to get smaller before we go to Alaska. And we were looking at a bunch of different stuff. And I was like, well, if we're going to switch again anyway, why aren't we
This has been our goal rig for
why aren't we
ever
just
since.
considering an Airstream? Like, we can get smaller, we can get like a 25 to 30 footer. It's not like small like we were maybe thinking about doing, but like we can switch to that and we can full-time in that and we'll be happy.
And we're living that no slides life and I love it.
Yeah.
And
I don't miss that.
Peppered in with that entire conversation was also if we all go smaller, we can go to like locations like Baja and
Right,
Alaska.
yeah.
And as we're listening to you guys talk about that, we're sitting over there going, ooh, this sounds good.
Not that we couldn't have done that in our fifth wheels, which we were going to do.
We were,
anyway.
yes.
But there are just
Yeah.
other places that we can go that are a little bit more off the beaten path.
I think what pushed us and maybe you guys over the edge was we were trying to book out stuff in California for the fifth wheels and we weren't fitting anywhere we wanted to go.
No,
There were RV parks. We could do stuff.
Definitely there are RV parks.
But like all the state parks and stuff we wanted to do.
Yeah. And I would say that as you were working out the deal with the Airstream, all of a sudden here comes Jason and Abby and we're like, guess what, guys?
Yeah.
We're doing
Uh-huh.
literally what you're doing.
It's like, you're going to a 30 footer? Hold my beer.
4 people in the 30 footer.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, right,
5 people in the
exactly.
25 footer. What do you
Yeah, we did our time in the 19 footer.
Yeah, this is more
you
like
make it sound like it wasn't awesome.
Oh, it was amazing. I missed it when the weather's great, but
This is probably more like a Goldilocks situation where you're like, you got too small, too big, just right.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys have just seemed your happiest since you've gotten Flow. Like it just everything about the Airstream and how it works for your family. And even like when we were in there for coffee on Sunday morning and we were just all sitting there, the 4 of us, and we were chatting, it was so cozy.
It actually worked out even better than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought it would feel cramped in the main area. We would never use it, but you've got all the windows, so you get the light and like you can fit in those seats.
Yes.
Contrary to popular belief, I fit just fine. All of us fit just fine
4
in there.
adults have been around that
Yes.
dinette playing
It is
cards.
not.
I'm not a
It's
small
not
person.
a big recliner. It's certainly not that. But
But it's well laid out.
I mean, it's
Well, our
definitely,
recliner's broke.
it's efficient. It's well done.
it's definitely not Club Kid Schuperson up at the Sabre, which is
Right.
really literally what our living room has turned into over the
I
last
feel
few
so
weeks.
bad for the kids when we.
Oh, I
They're
was
only got a
have
few
that
more days
anymore.
with that.
I was just thinking that this morning, and I was like, they literally have 3 more days of this. Kids have really enjoyed life up at the Sabre and all that has come with that, but they're going to get to enjoy a new season of friendship once the saver goes away on Saturday.
Oh, I'm so excited though.
I'm so stoked. I'm really I'm ready. Like
We're ready.
We're ready
We're ready.
now. We're ready for this.
We're not ready, but we're ready.
No,
We're mentally ready, but
Ready
we're
to
not
be ready.
physically ready.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So, Jamie and Clay, it's been really great getting to know you over the course of the last
Year
a year and a half now, and we're really excited to be traveling with you for the next several months. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some things along the way, like broken fingers. Hopefully not much.
No more of
than
No,
that.
we're done with visits to the ER in 2023. I told you that. Like,
I have to do my
no,
I have to go.
yeah.
I have to do my tour of VRs.
Oh my goodness
but
gracious.
I-
Well,
I'm-
California check.
Very excited about the adventures we have coming up.
Yeah, and maybe we'll check back in with them in like 6 to 8 months and see if they still feel the same
they'll
way.
be back on.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
going
yeah.
to see
Okay.
you till 6 to 8 months.
Like, you know, after that, I'm just not gonna know.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have our Fresh Tank, Black Tank segment. Be right back.
On every road trip, there are moments you wish could last forever. Your kids running into the ocean for the first time, that perfect campsite with views that amaze and surprise, a hike through Sarah's Crack, moments you spend time planning and you wish would never end. But like all good adventures, they do. But you know what doesn't have to end? Your Road Pass Pro membership you used to plan that memory-making vacation. Grab your Road Pass Pro membership today and lock in the $49.99 price for life. Featuring some of our favorite trip planning sites like Campendium and Road Trippers and the Togo app for checklists, Road Pass Pro will help you create an amazing RV adventure. Save $10 off your first year with code RVMILES10X and lock in the renewal rate of $49.99 for life. Road Pass Pro is going up in the new year, so if you've been on the fence, now is the time to join and save. Just click the link in the description and use code RVMILES10X to save $10 off your first year of Road Pass Pro.
It's time for a new RV mattress. Abby and I have been testing out the Wanderlust mattress from RVMattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding, and we couldn't be happier. We're sleeping better, and because we were able to customize the mattress, we got the exact fit for our needs. RVMattress.com offers a 120-night sleep trial, the ability to pick different sizes and thicknesses, plus their products are toxin-free, made in the USA, and incredibly simple to set up. We were able to have ours delivered to the campground, and within hours of unboxing, the mattress was fully expanded and ready to sleep on. RVMattress.com offers free shipping and is offering the RV Miles community 20% off. Visit RVMattress.com/RVMiles and use the promo code RVMiles, all one word. That's RVMattress.com/RVMiles with the promo code RVMiles for 20% off.
All right, we are back, and it is time to check the level of our tanks, and we are going to start with our friends first. So, Jamie, what is in your black tank this week?
Camping chairs.
Oh, preach it.
I just need a camping chair that lasts. We've been through so many different camping chairs. So many. We had the 0G ones. Those broke. We had REI ones that we really like, but they're kind of bulky, and the arms break off of them all the time. And then I just bought a bunch from like this company called Wood. It's probably my own fault. Googled best camping chairs. And
Are you
this was
trying to say that Google?
these were on a couple of lists. So I bought these. We bought 4 chairs and a table from Woods, Canada. It's all very aesthetically pleasing. It's very pretty. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
But one of our chairs. These are like mid-range price, so like $90. Yeah. One of our chairs, the seam ripped out already, and we've had them for like a week. Yeah. And I guess we're kind of hard on camping chairs because we use them a lot. Like Clay sits outside.
More than the average camper.
Yeah.
Even probably more than the average like full-time RVer. Clay works outside all day. I work outside probably half the day. We sit outside by the fire like almost every night.
So
these get a lot, and we are not small people. And our children are jumping on everything.
And
Yeah.
Camping chairs, they break. I mean, we've never had good ones either.
Too fast.
Our best ones were the $35 ones off of Amazon.
I'm about to just
Eventually
get
we'll
some
find
cheap
one.
ones and have a
Stop.
repair
No,
kit.
stop. We are not buying those $10 chairs from Walmart anymore. We are done with that.
All right.
Well,
Camping life.
What's in your fresh tank?
My fresh tank is, I was trying to decide between 2. I'm going to go with, we got a new bed cover for our truck. It's very exciting. It was the Retrax. I was mortified about paying that much for a bed cover, but we wanted something that worked with our, we have like a Yakima overhaul rack, and we wanted something that would work with that, and it was kind of the option, especially with an 8-foot bed. But this thing is a beast. It was super easy to install. We spent longer putting the roof basket together, I think, than we did putting the truck bed cover on. But we got it all put in yesterday, and it's like really pretty. I always struggled with the roll-up one, like trying to get it even and stuff. And so this is like push it in, pull it
the fabric
out.
one was always a pain.
Yeah.
This
It
one's
looks-
amazing.
It installed super easy. It's great, and
It
happy
makes
with
me
it.
want one.
Yeah.
Influenced again.
We'll just order 2 of everything from now on.
That happens a lot. All right.
Clay, what's in your black tank? I've just taken over.
Wow.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Wow.
I appreciate it.
Keep us moving.
So, big coffee drinker. One of my favorite places I have gotten coffee on the road. This whole time we've been on the road is a little coffee shop up in Joshua Tree, nearby here, called Joshua Tree Coffee. We've been here almost 2 months, and I have yet to be there. And I was thinking, oh, we're going to the Palm Springs Farmers Market. We went there a couple of weeks ago, Saturday morning. Oh, they always have a stand there, like because we'd been there before. Nope, they weren't there.
Oh,
Still have not had my Joshua Tree coffee, so we gotta get up there.
I'm like, where are we going? Like, we've got to get up there. I mean, we have hardly been able to visit Joshua Tree since we got here. I mean, we've had a lot of other really fun adventures, but a lot of other stuff going on. But as one who has not had that coffee yet,
No, yeah, it's
I feel
real
like
good.
we need to get up there and make that.
Clay and Abby are the coffee snobs of the group.
Ah.
Really.
No. I drink flavored coffee. Clay put me in my place the other night.
No, Clay's definitely the king.
Abby
we
is
cannot
not a
be
coffee
snob.
I know.
And
I was.
no,
he
I do
came
too.
up and took my homemade snob card and ripped it.
My first coffee love was Panera Hazelnut, so I feel that
There you go.
for sure.
Same.
Listen.
I'll still drink that.
I'll still drink that. Listen, if there's a Panera and that's like it's a choice between getting Panera coffee or Starbucks coffee, I will go get the Panera coffee just so I can get the hazelnut.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. I
Clay,
just
what's
love it.
in your
I'm not
fresh
gonna
tank?
apologize.
Yeah, so I'll just stay on that coffee train
Yeah,
and
let's do
say
it.
I have been using the crap out of my favorite Christmas gift, which is a little stovetop, like espresso maker, mocha pot sort of deal that Jamie got me. Ordered it from MoMA, New York, which we had stopped in there, and I
From the
almost
design
bought
store,
it
yeah.
in the design store at Museum of Modern Art. Didn't buy it when we were there because I was thinking, it's an extra thing to carry around. But oh man,
Oh,
I like coffee, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to put that thing on your little camp stove, and then all of a sudden it bubbles espresso out into your tiny little fancy cups, and I can be fancy and drink my coffee.
While you're sitting in your chair right before it breaks.
It's the little things.
The little thing.
It's the literally little bits of strong coffee in little cups. Yes.
and then you have to go to the biscotti lady at the farmer's market in Palm Springs
that's
and
a
get her fresh
seriously good
biscotti.
We're going
recommendation.
Saturday morning, right? Like,
Yeah.
before we have to move.
I'm not going
Saber
to buy a
and
bunch of
Becky.
produce because, like,
No.
And they have
Cruise?
gluten-free, dairy-free cookies
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah, let's just go for breakfast and
What
just walk
are
around.
you- Before
Making
we
plans
move
on the
two
podcast.
RVs, are you crazy?
Yeah.
We got to move them by 11?
Oh.
that might not work.
No, we
then.
don't.
Yes, we do.
Why?
Because that's checkout time here.
We have this spot until the
Oh, we have this
26th.
spot for a
Yeah,
couple more
hey,
days.
girl.
I was gonna say you can just put it in this site.
See,
Okay.
your
We
girl
are-
already thought all this out. Okay,
Okay,
we are
all
going. Saturday morning.
We could go early.
Yeah,
It's-
let's go
it's
early, please.
Opens
At 8.
8 probably.
Yeah, let's go early. So, all right, Jay, what is in your black tank this week?
My black tank is the fact that we are moving into a much, much smaller RV and still have to buy a ton of stuff for it.
Oh my gosh,
The
yes.
amount.
You would think-
Yes.
and I feel this happens to anybody moves into a house or you move from RV to RV, whatever it is. There's just stuff there's stuff you want, of course, but there's still stuff you need too, and you end up spending way more money than you ever budgeted to spend on making that change, because it is especially in an RV, it's a move from one life and one organizational setup to another. We have to buy all new little shelving things to go into the cabinets, all new sorts of little organizational stuff, new curtains, new everything, and it's
New bedding
been
because
a little while.
Yeah,
Yep, different size beds. Yeah.
new
Yeah.
bedding. It's
Wow.
been pretty wild. What is in your fresh tank?
My fresh tank is the fact that I do not have to have surgery on my finger.
Oh, thank you.
So I had a follow-up appointment with a hand surgeon a week after I broke my finger, and he looked at it and he was like, it's fine. Put it in a cast and come back in a couple weeks. So hopefully when we get back from the cruise, I'll have another appointment. They'll be taking the cast off, doing some x-rays, and at that point I might not need to even put it back on after 4 weeks, and might just go to a splint or something at that point. So
that cast
that's good. it's a
ridiculous.
Club.
It is the Infinity Gauntlet. I mean,
I need to put
you're going to put the gems in.
on it, yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really glad though, hon, that you don't have to have surgery, because I just think you've had enough of that. You needed, if you were going to have another injury, you needed it to just be a little bit more normal.
Was it would have involved flying back to Illinois to get it done.
Yeah. Let's not get into it. It's not going to happen.
All right. What's in your black tank, Abby?
Okay. So my black tank is, maybe we'll call it a bit more gray. It's probably, I have this thing about charcuterie boards. I think they're just, I don't know. It's a meat and cheese tray. Like at the end of the day, I saw this reel the other day now. That's the peanut butter board. Okay. And so this is why I'm black tanking it, because it's not just, like a cup of peanut butter and you're going to dip it. The board gets set down. It gets smeared. The board is smeared.
That's like the butter ones. Yeah.
With peanut butter. Very similar. Yeah. Right. Okay. So the board gets smeared with peanut butter. And then she laid out chocolate chips in a row, celery in a row.
Well, celery.
Pretzels in a row. So basically things that you would dip into peanut butter, right? Chocolate chips. What am I supposed to do at a party with this? Am I supposed to walk up to this peanut butter board and try to dip a teeny tiny little chocolate chip?
No, you take the celery stick and you scoop it up.
And then you grab the chocolate chips out of the peanut butter one by one and put it on.
No, you take like graham crackers or something.
It seems ridiculous.
It does seem really messy and gross.
Peanut butter board, just
JoJo would love it.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. I feel like that is not a peanut butter board to share. I feel like that is an individual.
It's a large piece of toast
made for me that you sit down in front of me. And
perhaps it was just for one person.
It was not. But there was just something. Like, I'm not a fan of the butter boards. I love butter, but I do not like again, it comes down to the smearing of the peanut butter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does anybody actually do that, or is it just for the Instagram or TikTok?
Yeah.
Listen, this was.
I think somebody does it for the Instagram, and then some people try to do it.
Like catches on.
What's next? Like, is it going to be a ketchup board next? And
then Ooh, I can get into the ketchup.
Putting sauces on surfaces.
I want a mayonnaise board, please.
I'm not going to eat. Why would you spread it? It's like saying, like, oh, I'm just going to spread my peanut butter on the
what if you don't spread enough peanut butter to the ratio of the things that you lay on the board? Too, right? Like serious. No one is gonna they smeared everywhere. They took like 6 or 7.
Can't be wasting food like that in these prices.
Someone's just gonna go and just take a chunk of that peanut butter with that piece of celery, and then there's not gonna be enough peanut butter for everything.
I was worried there'd be too much left over.
I don't think, given. There were a few other things on the board that I have.
It seems like a messy thing for a party in general.
How about a mayonnaise board? Can we have a mayonnaise board?
What? Mayonnaise board.
I don't know. I'm from Iowa. I was just
it's gonna get a skin over the top of it.
Gross.
Oh, beautiful. Just cut up some grape tomatoes.
So someone make a mayonnaise board, please.
A ketchup board, maybe I could see. But
Google it. I bet it exists.
Oh my gosh!
All right.
Just make a queso board next.
Abby, what is in your fresh tank this week?
I just switched it up as I was listening to Clay talk, and I want to fresh tank the gift that you all got me for Christmas because I love it. So they also got it from MoMA, from same place that you got your espresso maker. And it is a small little humidifier that looks like a water bottle, shaped like a larger water bottle. And it can be plugged into a USB, or it can charge, and it can just be portable.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a battery-powered humidifier before.
It is so awesome. I love it so much. I just set it right by my bed. I turn it on. It's so simple. And then overnight, I have noticed a huge difference since I got it. I absolutely love it. I think it's so perfect for RVing too. It's going to go with us in Bex. It's tiny enough that it can go. It'll be right there by my bedside. it's such a good gift, and such a good gift for an RVer too, because then I don't also feel like I'm over humidifying the space. I don't worry about like whether or not too much is getting near the mattress, things like that. And so I'll have to find it so I can link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, well, with the coffee thing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that you can go check it out, because it's a really awesome gift for RVers. I love it. So thank you. But as you were mentioning that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I
Oh,
want.
I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
absolutely love it. So
All right, that's it for this week's episode of the RV Miles podcast.
yes, that is. And thank you to our friends Jamie and Clay for joining us. If you want to follow their adventures, they are on Instagram at Getting Out of Normal, which is one of the best Instagram handles, I think, traveling. I love it. I love the play on words.
I mean, it's awful if you're not from normal,
it's
but if you're from normal, it's great.
You get it. I love it.
Anyway.
I love that. I love it. I love you're from
It's
Normal, Illinois.
fantastic.
It's fantastic. Also, if you are headed over to Amazon, please take RV Miles with you. You can start at amazon.com/shop/RV Miles. And of course, if you are interested in becoming a Mile Marker member and helping us grow this small business, we will have all the information you need either in the podcast description or in the YouTube show notes. So thank you so much. Thank you again, you guys, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Enjoy the rest of this new year. Camping season isn't far off. And keep logging those RV miles. We'll see you on the road.
Everybody.
Bye.